Niawe Scano. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our beautiful land known as the Seneca Nation. My name is Erica Seneca Hasty. I am Turtle Clan and a proud descendant of my late great-grandmother, Carolita Brooks, who attended the Thomas Indian School when she was a young girl. It is an honor for me to be here today. I want to begin by welcoming the Governor of New York State dignitaries, tribal leaders, and all of our community members who have joined us today. Your presence here is meaningful. We gather to acknowledge the history of the Thomas Indian School, a place where many of our ancestors endured great hardship. Children were separated from their families, their language, and their culture taken from them. The pain they carried has been passed through generations, and today we honor their resilience and strength. This event is an important step toward truth, recognition, and healing. We will begin with the Gnonio, our Thanksgiving address, spoken by Travis Stafford. So please turn off your cameras and recordings. You may turn on your recording devices. Up next, I'd like to invite the dancers to the stage. We are going to have a performance by Gunjokwa.
Skena ka gwego. Ne yai ne otsid wanonyo ne haho ne wai waho dongo ne wai wajento ne gai wai ndako ne ganonyo chisidiji. So Nyawa Skena ka gwego. I'd first like to thank the gentleman here who opened up for us with Ganonyuk. Just that alone, the language being spoken, and I know understood in the crowd here, is a testament to our ancestors and all the people that attended Thomas Indian School. Because us being up here in our traditional regalia and hearing Ongwetwe Ka, the native language, is a testament to the strength of our people, the resilience, and the courage to continue to be Ongwetwe. So we're honored to be here. Waisot Yahweh to JC as he continues to include as much as he can our traditional dances and traditions on our ever-changing political landscape here. We're thankful to be here, and that's why we're here today. We're dancing in the memory of all those people, all of our ancestors, our grandmas and our grandpas, that weren't here perhaps now to hear this apology. And I know that for them, us continuing to be Ungwet'away is the best way that we can honor them. So with that being said, we're going to share with you a few more of our traditional dances here. And my grandfather was raised here, Thomas Indian School. And, you know, we continue to gain understanding on how all this affects our families. And I know for myself and my family, something that's really helped us is our traditions, our language, our ceremonies, and these dances here. So this next dance we're going to do is what we call Gayo Wagayo. And it references the old moccasin. So we're going to dance and sing these songs for our ancestors here. This is Gayo Wagayo, the old moccasin dance. Alright, so that was the Gayo Wagayo, the old moccasin dance. So, you know, in some ways, being here today and sharing with you all these songs and these dances is just a little bit of the history and the tradition that we've held on to. And I know my generation is doing the best we can to pick up all these things and to put it all together, our languages and our songs and our ceremonies, because those were some of the things that were really affected when we think about Thomas Indian School and boarding schools across America. And then it goes way beyond that, you know, as we look at our families. And so we start to understand how all these things affect not only maybe us as individuals, but us as a community, and us as Indian nations across America and across the world. So this acknowledgement to me is one way that we can just share awareness, because there's people here and even in Western New York and across the state and across America that don't even know that these things have happened. So today, that's what we get to do, is we get to share a little bit of our history, and that some of us can begin to heal. And so in our communities here and across the Haudenosaunee, many of our nations still carry our tradition of being matrilineal. And so that's part of the history that's continued and continues into the future, is that we honor our women, firstly with their responsibility of carrying their nationhood to their families. So it's appropriate here, even though we have just a few dances to share with you, that we share with you what we call Eskanye Gainose. And so when we look at Thomas Indian School and the effects that it had, is that it separated our families. It separated our children from their mothers. And so in our traditional way, that was the core of our families. The clans looked to their mothers, their clan mothers, and their aunties and their grandmas for support. So as that changed, we also changed, and now we're coming back around and we're healing and we're reuniting our families. So we're going to honor all women with what we call Eskanye Gainose, the New Women's Shuffle Dance. Did I give you enough time? All right. We're getting down to one of our last dances here. And we're going to share with you now, that old style war dance. And so our people here across the Haudenosaunee and across America, we've been maybe not at war, but we've been fighting for almost 500 years to continue to be who we are, to continue to be proud of our languages and our communities and our families. And so our people have been through a turbulent history. And even though now today we're not at war per se, but there are still things that we fight for in our communities. We fight for health, to be healthy, to show our families healthy ways of loving one another. And we fight for our traditions and our heritage. Because these are all the things that have been affected over the last 500 years, whether it be through war, through genocide, or residential boarding school. So we're here today for our ancestors, to make them proud that we're still carrying forward the things that they tried to take from us. And so we're going to bring all of our male dancers out here, and we're going to share with you that old style war dance. Good dancing, fellas. All right, so we're going to speed things up here. And we're going to show you guys the smoke dance here. So this smoke dance here is our competition style. But today we're going to use it as our celebration that we're still here. And all the things that our people have been through, we're still here, and we're still proud, and we're going to continue into the future. This is the smoke dance. Alright, so at this time, this is going to conclude our short performance here. And once again, we're honored to be here. And we're just really thankful that we still have all this heritage and this language and this culture to share with you. Because as we look at the Haudenosaunee and the Seneca Nation, it really is what makes us separate and our own people, is all this language, this tradition, and this heritage. So we carry that into the future. So I say, Weisot Nyawas Wagwego Dane Hodiat.
Yahweh and Jokwa. Let's give them another round of applause. So we're just gonna wait for a few minutes. The governor and the president are still meeting, so just sit tight for a few minutes and they'll be out shortly. At this time, I'd like to introduce our speakers who will be sharing their reflections, insights, and commitments moving forward. Please join me in welcoming President of the Seneca Nation, J. Conrad Seneca, to the mic.
No, Erica, I appreciate that. Now, Scannell, how's everybody doing today? Good? All right. What a beautiful day here in Irving on the Cattaraugus territory. As I always say, the sun always shines in Irving. But I'd like to welcome everybody here, all of our people that are here, our guests here to our territory. Thanks for being here today. It's been a great morning here, spending with the governor, talking about the many issues here at Seneca Nation, the Thomas Indian School, its history, and having the governor the opportunity to speak with some of the survivors and families here from the Thomas Indian School. You know, I always I think about a time when I came upon a place that had a sign that said sacred ground. And I think about that, and I believe that's what we're standing on today is sacred ground here on the Seneca Nation Cattaraugus territory. Because of the history here, because of our people, the resilience of our Seneca Nation, of our people, and you know, everything that we stand for, our values, our traditions, our customs, our language, our ability to find our way through the many challenges that we face in life, and to be still here today. It's a testament to our ancestors and to our people of today. And so many Nyawes for everybody's efforts, all of our people here at the Seneca Nation. Today is also the commemoration of our Buffalo Creek Treaty, May 20th, 1842, 183 years ago. The treaty was signed. I just wanted to make sure I recognized that as well. So today is about the children and the families that had to endure the hardships and mistreatment that occurred here on this piece of land at this campus of the Thomas Indian School. And so as we gather today, let's remember them. And I want to appreciate Travis Stafford for being here. Earlier we had burned some tobacco to help those souls that may be out here that are wandering, to help them find their way, to make sure that we take care of them and remember them. So Nyaweh, Travis, for being here and doing that for us. Well, it gives me great honor and pleasure to be able to welcome the governor of the state of New York, Kathy Hochul. Welcome, Governor.
Thank you. Yahweh, thank you very much, Mr. President. Yes, indeed, the sun always shines in Irving. I'm from Hamburg. I can attest to that. We always came down here. We need a little sunshine. I want to acknowledge so many extraordinary leaders who will become my friends, starting with our president, who we've had a number of conversations since he ascended to his position, as I've developed relationships with the prior presidents. But he came to Albany at my invitation, and we had a very powerful meeting, and you'll hear about why that led to 2 months later my visit here today. I also want to recognize First Lady Nicole Seneca, First Daughter Olivia Mabey, our Seneca Nation counselors. I've become friends with many. Our clerk, our executives, our elders, our survivors, our alumni and descendants, all who have a connection to the Thomas Indian School. Again, the past presidents, and Dr. Elizabeth Rule, who was the very first ever Deputy Secretary from my office to the First Nations. And she has been a great ambassador to help me understand more and deepen the relationship that always should have been there between the nations and our state. So today is a day to come back. It's a homecoming for me. This is an area I'm well familiar with. But we gather here on Seneca territory, a portion of the Seneca homeland that extends over 13 counties of western New York. And we came together to formally recognize on behalf of the state of New York the atrocities that happened here at the Thomas School. And this is once known as the Thomas Asylum for Orphan and Destitute Indian Children. A name by itself conveys a harshness, a lack of compassion. It was founded in 1855 by missionaries to house orphan children. There are many diseases that ravaged to the communities, and some children were left without parents. But over its long, sordid history, over 2,500 students passed through the doors. And they came not just from the Seneca Nation, but from others throughout the state. But instead of being a haven for orphan children, it became a place of nightmares, a place some would call a torture chamber, a site of sanctioned ethnic cleansing is what was going here. Try to eradicate the long, proud story of the Senecas and other places. This occurred from Canada and elsewhere in our country. Children were forcibly removed from their families, stripped of their names, their languages, and their traditions. Sometimes they were subjected to unimaginably horrific physical, emotional, and sexual assaults. These atrocities occurred for more than 100 years. They were known by the state of New York, 75 years of which it was owned by the state. And what has happened has been a long legacy of broken promises throughout the 19th and 20th centuries that continue today to affect the families, sometimes resulting in this generational trauma that I heard so clearly is so prevalent in the lives of the survivors, people themselves who are students in the school, those whose mothers or fathers were there, or their grandparents. And what I took note of most of all was from hearing these stories, that took courage to tell, by the way, opening up the wounds again that perhaps later in life might be just starting to heal. There's a lack of love. Children in that school were not feeling part of a family. They were so lonely. They didn't know they had a connection to others on the outside. No one hugged them. No one gave them kisses goodnight. So they, in turn, when they left and became parents themselves, were not conditioned in the nurturing ways of parents that you would expect. What I heard they knew there was love, but it was never visibly displayed. And sometimes it even carried on to the grandchildren. But I also heard today the voices of so many strong people who are resilient, ensuring that their grandchildren, their children, knew what love was all about. And they embraced them and talked about how their own grandchildren will not carry on this trauma that was there because of these horrible, horrible situations. And even our President Seneca talked about what his family had to endure at the school. And he wrote about it in a very powerful way. I read it, every word of it. And it's on the walls inside here. You need to go back and read about it. You need to see the pictures of those little innocent children who never had anything resembling a normal childhood. Again, stripped of their identity and their traditions. But the people have endured, and I admire that strength. It's inspiring to me. And holding on now to the traditions, the dance, the food, the clothing, all those will now be passed on forevermore because people stood up and said, no, we are reclaiming our identity. We've endured a lot. But again, we're going to be enduring for many, many, many generations to come. That's the way. So the story started emerging of cases up in Canada. They started coming here. And I cannot change the horrors of the past. I wish I could. I wish I could just wipe it all away. You deserve that. But first of all, by teaching our children today is a first step. making sure they understand what happened then. And that's one of the reasons why, in my budget, I'm insisting that we create new educational materials about the indigenous nations, their histories, their cultures, their contributions. And I want that in our New York K through 12 schools. So there's a deeper understanding of the people whose land we are on and what they have gone through. That is a first step forward. And in order to avoid repeating the sins of the past, we will acknowledge as a state the role we played. The path is not always easy moving forward, but it must include the collective movement to reclaim dignity and the ancestral legacy. It must include the telling of the truth about what happened at that school. And it must include repatriating those who are lost. And it must include a cultural revitalization and justice. And it must include the healing practices and spiritual ceremonies that were shunned for so long. I will play my role. That's why today, on behalf of the state of New York, I, Governor Kathy Hochul, apologize to the Seneca Nation of Indians and survivors and descendants from all nations who attended the Thomas Indian School. And I recognize, on behalf of the people of this state, the atrocities that were committed there and the enduring trauma that's been inflicted upon the Seneca and all indigenous peoples across our state. And that is why I recommit to the truth, the justice, the reconciliation, accountability, and healing that must begin today and forward into the future. With that, I'll present a proclamation to President Seneca on behalf of the people of the state of New York, acknowledging everything I've just said, but I want this forever enshrined, visible to the rest of the state, that this day occurred, and I will say long overdue. I'm here 2 months after I was asked. Other governors should have preceded me. But here we are today, and I'm honored and privileged to be the governor of a state that has such a rich history because of the people who are here today and those who came before, for we indeed are on their lands. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Governor. Great words.
Thank you, everyone.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Governor. We really appreciate that, and your apology and your words today mean a great deal to us, and we look forward to continued building our relationship together with you and working on the many issues that we face together. And Yahweh to everybody here today, thank you for attending. We appreciate you, and many thanks.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.